Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of VCTV. I'm your host, Kyle Ellicott. Today, we're going to be talking about our favorite subject, blockchain, but we're going one level deeper. We're going to talk about blockchain as it's applied to entertainment, gaming, and esports as well. And I'm joined by some outstanding co-hosts who specialize in this area as well. So we're going to talk about it from the founder's perspective, the entrepreneur's perspective, if you're still looking for an opportunity, and also from an investor standpoint as well. So get ready, get your coffee. We're going to jump in here in just a moment. But before we do, a big thank you to LATOKEN team and to Maria for making today's episode possible. Without the team, we couldn't make this happen. So make sure to check us out on latoken.com to hear from today's speakers and all speakers of the VCTV family. With that, let's go ahead and jump in with introductions of our co-host today. Robbie, welcome back to the show. Kick us off with a little intro and background.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Kyle. My name is Robbie Young. I'm the CEO of Animoca Brands, and we are a blockchain gaming specialist, I guess you could say. We're well known for working with branded IP, so games like F1 Delta Time, MotoGP Ignition, an upcoming title from Formula E, as well as our own in-house IP like The Sandbox, which is a metaverse project. And so I guess, I'm here representing the blockchain gaming side of things and very excited to chat.
Wonderful. Excited to have you here. And we've got some special news from you and your company today, which we're going to get into in just a moment. Big congratulations. But next up, Maya, welcome to the show as well. A little intro, a little background.
Hi, my name is Maya Kanehara. I'm a CEO of Scramble Studio. Scramble Studio creates the game developer platform for any kind of game, and we are running on Global ID, which is a portable digital identity platform, which is secure, privacy preserving. It's a trust platform that is very unique, yeah, I'm very still new. We are just finishing MVP prototype, and we are very excited about at this moment. And I previously ran the SSI incubator, and I've been investment side for past 5 years. So this is my new chapter of my life. So thank you for having me today.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Last but not least, Anuj. Welcome back to the show. A little intro, a little background.
Thank you so much, mate. So quickly introducing myself, being a startup founder for almost a decade, started 3 startups in the past. At present, I'm working as the founder for Yadosify Technologies, where we closely work with blockchain technology, working with fintech and gaming startups, along with implementing blockchain in Internet of Everything technologies.
Outstanding. And by the way, hello to everybody tuning in. We're seeing all the comments come through. So hello, wherever you are tuning in from. If you have any questions for our panel today, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll do my best to ask them in real time. If not, we're all available online and love to continue the conversation. So with that, let's talk about blockchain in gaming and entertainment. There's a lot happening. Robbie, I'm going to kick it off with you. Congratulations to you and your team on the huge blockbuster fundraising, 888.88. Eights across the board, 88 million, almost 89 million, but there is some significance to that number at almost $1 billion valuation. This is an awesome, outstanding milestone for you and the company, but also for the industry. I'm going to take it selfishly for the industry for the moment.
Definitely.
Tell us what this means when it comes to blockchain and NFTs and why this is something really of importance pushing the industry forward.
So I think, and first, just the caveat, it was $1 billion pre-money.
Even better.
I had to get that in there. We worked hard for that. So I think this is important for our industry. Obviously, we're not the first. Dapper had a monster round very recently, and also our friends at OpenSea had a round last week as well. Although obviously they're a little bit earlier stage than we are. I think this is important as a milestone for the blockchain game industry, particularly because in this round we brought in a lot of what I think you could consider more traditional investment funds, financial investment funds, who would not be your usual sort of crypto-focused investors. So I think it's a good sign that, in fact, we're seeing a lot more mainstream interest amongst more traditional investors in what we're doing in this space. And hopefully it'll help to put us a little bit more on the map in terms of blockchain games.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if it doesn't, we've got some bigger things to talk about, because there is so much happening with you and with all in this industry. You mentioned Dapper Labs. We also had today Sony filing patents for their entire gaming portfolio to start accepting Bitcoin and other potential cryptocurrencies as in-game payments. Microsoft is starting to do the same thing. But for you guys, you're focused also around the power of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, as they apply into games, and also games built on the blockchain as well. So tell us a little bit, Robbie, and then I'm going to come around to everyone, is just what's happening in this transition as we see blockchain starting to enter the gaming space more intimately, or vice versa as well.
Sure. So I think from our perspective, the key sort of power of gaming is that gaming is already, as people may or may not be aware, is the largest entertainment industry, full stop, by any measure, whether it's number of players, revenues, profits, etc. It is the largest entertainment industry. And gamers have, for many years, become accustomed to buying virtual assets. And so, the purchase of virtual assets is not new to them. They understand it. However, many people who play games don't realize that they don't actually own those virtual assets. They're operating in a rental economy, because if they really read the terms of service of their games, they'll find everything is actually owned by the game developer. It's permissioned. But when you go and introduce blockchain and NFTs specifically into games, you start to introduce permissionless assets, which are assets that can be truly owned by the players. So we're basically giving players digital property rights. And when you do that, a very powerful thing happens, because it begins to create an ecosystem around these permissionless assets. And so what I mean by that, for example, is if you think about the advent of the automobile, Henry Ford started mass producing Ford automobiles, and then other companies noticed that there would be business opportunities making repair shops or tires or car parts, all these other things that they made. And they didn't need Ford's permission to start those businesses, because they were catering to the assets, the permissionless assets. And now we have the digital version of that in NFTs, where other companies are making services for example, our F1 Delta Time cars, which are NFTs. So you can, use them to collateralize loans at Niftyfy. You can use them for all kinds of other things that don't actually need our permission.
Which is exciting to see where this is moving towards, because you brought up the word loans and collateralizing. This is something we're starting to see with NFTs, but now you're bringing in this world of gaming as a source of income, a true source of income for anybody to play to earn, which is a new business model we're starting to see more conversation around as well, which is going to be exciting. But we're going to put a pin on that for just a moment. Maya, talk to us a little bit about what you might be seeing as well from your side around blockchain and gaming.
Yeah, I think Robbie listed up all the points beautifully. So what I can add a little bit is that maybe it's an amazing, great time for artists. We often not having the great opportunity for artists to get the credit, get the even compensations directly from consumers. So this blockchain allow us to connect creators directly. So I'm very excited that I believe we will have more game developers, creators, artists. I hope it will create a new amazing ecosystem.
Absolutely. And also identity. I mean, talking about identity coming into this picture, right? We've got this whole future of digital identity, and where we start to separate or combine, depending on which side you look at it, our physical identities with our digital identities. And that's where avatars may start to get into the picture. And we see this new model around direct avatar, which is starting to emerge with digital marketplaces, tons of exciting stuff that's coming. And Anuj, I'm going to turn over to you. Same question. What's your view around blockchain and gaming? Here it is today.
So if you remember our conversation, I guess like 6 or 7 months ago, I was on one of the panels and I said this very same thing. When we talk about blockchain, we talk about democratization of the fintech sector. And I said this very clearly, that it's not just fintech that's going to be affected by blockchain. As a technology, it holds a lot more potential. And that potential is definitely into gaming. Again, calling back to that 6 months old talk, I said that if Call of Duty brings in a marketplace where people can exchange skins, which they spend tens or hundreds of dollars every month on, that would be a great business model. 6 months down the line, Call of Duty just announced they are going to set that up. And that's definitely the starting point or the anchor that we need. If you go on Reddit right now, there are a ton of subreddits for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, mobile, PUBG Mobile, n number of games right now that have community that's developing their own skins, that's developing their own themes. They love to create those inspirational designs. And if somehow they can do that, bring it into the marketplace and sell it themselves, that's creating a marketplace for a whole new type of audience. I mean, you have the players bringing in their own designs, selling it online, making money, and the companies can make a commission out of it, just like a regular marketplace. But also, along with it, you are looking at a whole different avenues where people can sell NFTs of not just their avatars, but for special moments in the game. I am sort of an occasional gamer, as I would call it that. And there are special moments for me in my gaming cycle or in my gaming routine, which I love to capture. I have my 100 nuke. Oh, fantastic. Gonna take a screenshot of that. I have my 100,000 kill. Fantastic. Gonna make that the kill cam and take a screenshot of that. And if content creators who have huge audience can capture those moments, sell them as NFTs, yeah, you're looking at a completely different ball game. Gaming competitions have been blowing up in the last 2 years, and it's only going to grow bigger and bigger. The growth is not going to be incremental, especially in Southeast Asia, where games have practically exploded on mobile devices. With the advent of, I would say, better hardware that's coming into the low-end phones right now that can support this kind of gaming system, you're going to see a completely different ecosystem within the next 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years, I'm with you. I think it might actually be more like 2 to 3 years at this rate, but in an exciting way nonetheless. I mean, it just seem to be progressing so aggressively as well. And Noble is pretty aware of this as well, having spent some time with We Wear Play Games and some of his previous companies as well. So Noble, talk to us about blockchain and gaming as well, what you're starting to see. And thank you, Anuj, as well.
No, I think the core focus needs to be on the casual gamer. You know, it's great that you have these people who are super aggressive and, you know, are the young guys out there playing eSports, but it's really the casual gamer. You know, I've said this multiple times that the real new gig economy will be mobile gaming. You know, you already have different companies promoting and pushing their projects where people can earn and win cash on their games. People are able to convert and have tokens in their games. So this is where the direction is going to go, that people are, for their time being spent and their energy being spent, they're going to be paid in various forms of crypto. But more importantly, you know, when we've got to separate the idea of the cryptocurrency from the blockchain component. More importantly, the blockchain component of being able to take credits and take your identity and to take components from game A to game B and then still be able to interact with that new game and stack and build upon whatever successes you had in the past game are great. And then to be able to take all that information and make that your digital identity to get approved for loans, to get approved for you know, a home, or get approved for various forms of credit. It just becomes a really interesting that your gaming identity that starts tracking you now shows how much value you have in these 100 different games that you play and these 100 different tokens that you've accumulated. So the blockchain component is going to be a full integration of what we do, how we do it, and then how people judge and perceive us of the things that we do. And so we always have to be really cognizant that it's not just about the currency and the token and how people are being paid, but it's really how they're being tracked in what they're doing and them being in control of that for their own financial gain.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a whole new world of DeFi, right? Decentralized finance. It's this new world of finance coming in that can help us, create new forms, not only of loans but also credit as well, and provide a whole new financial profile for anybody. Right? If you don't have credit, for instance, this could be a piece of that credit profile and identity for you. I mean, Maya, I see you shaking your head. Anything to add on to Noble's point and kind of where this migrates between identity and DeFi as well?
Sure. Yeah, Noble covered pretty much everything. SSI during this COVID, especially like over a year, we had a hard time, and I'm sorry to the people who had loss or any such things. But in our entertainment side, we had a lot of development around identity through the COVID credentials and. Beyond that, then like everyone's conscious about the securities, privacy preserving. So I'm very happy to see it keep going in terms of this, blockchain development and expansion of this, the awareness of blockchain and the identity itself. And it's gonna be more and more, and I'm looking forward to seeing those development.
Absolutely, and Anuj, I want to come down to you for a second, or come over to you. I guess you're kind of down on my screen at the moment, but I want to come to you around India. So we talked months ago about how big India was around esports and gaming. They were one of the biggest, if I'm correct, audiences for PUBG. There's a huge growing audience around all esports games. You called out Call of Duty and a few others. Where are we now at the gaming sector for India? Is NFTs and NFT gaming something that India is looking at? Is India still this huge gaming hub that we saw months ago?
It very much is, my friend. I mean, for that matter, not just India, for that matter, the entire Southeast Asia. It's the entire region that's giving out these new casual gamers to the world, and it's giving it out in such huge numbers. With the population size being so huge, adoption has practically exploded. And so has the revenue for these companies as well. There are people who are on a monthly basis spending approximately $10 to $50 on just mobile gaming. And that's one thing we are keenly looking at right now as well, because while these people have just started gaming, it's practically become a daily routine in their life where they spend as much as 2 to 4 hours on a daily basis just playing the games. While the system has not yet matured to that level or that kind of technology where you would see advancements in NFT gaming or people being interested in other forms of content being generated from these games, there's a growing market now for content creation in terms of content creators coming in on YouTube, gaming tutorials. And that sort of is stepping up the game for a lot of eSports tournaments in India. So it's at its very early stage, but the growth is so rapid and then the adoption is so huge that more and more resources are being poured in right now. I'm pretty sure that within the next 1 to 2 years, you would see a lot more tech adoption in India and in the entire Southeast Asia region.
Love it. I'm excited. Let's look. Ravi's shaking his head as well. Ravi, anything to add? If not, I do have a question for you as well, but anything to add to Anuj's point?
No, go for it. What's your question?
All right. So NFTs, gaming, blockchain, the whole world that you live in, F1 Delta Time, we're a huge fan of, MotoGP and Sandbox. what's next? If a company is out, as an entrepreneur is out there listening as to maybe how to get into the space, what are some of the areas of opportunity you're starting to see rise if someone is looking to start building and developing in this new metaverse world that we're headed in?
Sure. I think the best thing you can do, honestly, is to just jump in and learn. There's a little bit of a learning curve if you come from a traditional game dev background, because obviously there's the whole blockchain aspect, and designing a game that incorporates blockchain at its heart is a very different experience, because obviously the in-game economy is not just a virtual economy, it's based on real economic principles. So you need to account for inflation and money supply and all those sort of macroeconomic principles. But I think there's a huge opportunity now, and this is one of the things that's fantastic about the world of NFTs. There's a huge opportunity to not only create new games such as the ones we've created, whether it's working with well-known brands or creating your own brand, but there's also an opportunity to create game experiences for all the NFTs that are already out there in the universe. So if you think about, CryptoPunks, for example, there's a project that has become very well known and has a lot of very high profile, owners of different CryptoPunks, and they've paid a lot of money for them, and they clearly have a lot of money to spend. So, as a game developer, you could be thinking, can I make a cool game that is all about CryptoPunks, where people can bring their punks and play in my game? Because that's something that you could never do before NFTs and blockchain. So I think that's a really exciting opportunity, because there's a built-in market right there of CryptoPunk owners who might be interested in your game.
Absolutely. Noble, anything to add around areas of opportunity? I mean, you've worked in this space for a number of years as well, currently have a different project in a different space, but nonetheless, what do you see in terms of opportunity around gaming and entertainment as a whole?
Yeah, I think that the opportunities are frankly limitless. It's really how you are perceiving your customer. It's it's always the same thing, problem solution set. And Robbie hit the nail with the CryptoPunks analogy and the ability to play around with that. You could do hash mass, but more importantly, there's tons and tons of NFTs out there that are basically homeless, right? They were created, they're designed, but there's really no other functionality beyond being able to trade them back and forth. It was the same phenomenon that happened with CryptoKitties early on, where people said, okay, great, I love to play with my CryptoKitties, but there's no other dApps that I can actually integrate with them. And then people started creating battle dApps, and they started creating clothing, and they started doing all these kind of fun things around servicing that community to give them more than the ability just to look at it. There's also hardware solutions that are starting to evolve, where people can actually functionally see their NFTs being displayed on screens and in areas and all kind of stuff. So, this is a space that is ripe for everybody to kind of open their minds and really see where the opportunities are, and then who they want to help and how they want to help them. There's going to be a lot of people next year who are just holding on to NFTs, and it's great to look at your screen, but it's going to be a lot more fun to interact with them. And finding those interaction points are going to be beautiful.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And Maya, to you, I mean, you do a number of things, including the studio and playing with digital identity. You're also a mentor at Alchemist Accelerator. Anything that you're seeing as areas of opportunity for those entrepreneurs getting in at the early stage?
I think I would say you are the one create the opportunity, right? Like it's how could we imagine this non-fungible token like 10, 20 years ago? Like how could we imagine this world is coming now in the gaming, in the blockchain, and crypto is in your hand, in a mobile. And I think this is very, very interesting time, especially I would say that the creators who could be just creating in your own room, but now is the time to come out. And I just spoke with the movie producers yesterday that like this is incredible opportunity to create a new distribution channel that could collaborate with non-fungible token and game and all the stories. And I think we are entering is a very interesting era for storytelling perspective or any content content, not only games, we could create so many other opportunities. So we should be very mindful for open to anything. So I'm excited, and everyone is excited as well, right?
Absolutely. We haven't even talked yet about content and the possibilities around content as well, right? In-game content, whether that be bringing music or videos or movies or actual written content. I mean, there's so much around this that can be gamified in so many ways, which is exciting as well. And I want to come around to everyone around closing thoughts and where you can be found online for those looking to continue the conversation about blockchain, gaming, or your respected areas as well. So Anuj, let's start with you. Closing thoughts about this industry, where we may be going next. Again, we had Sony file a patent around in-game payments with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies this morning. Thank you to Blockworks out there as well for breaking that news this morning. But what are you seeing as your closing thoughts, and then where can everyone find you?
So, quick closing thoughts. I mean, the pandemic has changed the entire world, and then we have somehow divided the world into essential workers and non-essential workers. And I said this before, that NFT is going to change the way for people who have not had a chance to make a living during this time, like artists, content creators. They were not allowed to go outside. They were not allowed to do their work that they would have usually done. NFT, especially in gaming, is going to give a great opportunity to all of them. To anyone out there that's working in this field, that's working on creating a real-time gaming company that's working on blockchain, or if you're trying to develop new content, you can reach out to us. We'd love to work with you. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Anuj Chauhan, or you can drop me a DM on Twitter at Anuj. Would love to have a conversation.
Thank you, Anuj. Noble.
Yeah, it's easy to find me, Noble Dracone on LinkedIn, or you can find me Noble Dracone on Twitter, or at Dracone on Twitter. My final thoughts are that this is the new reality. We've been accelerated this last year and a half, almost 5 years, to be really digital dependent and focused on how we're able to profit and be successful. And blockchain, gaming, eSports, it really has set the stage for, as I said, the new gig economy. People receiving and making money playing casual games. There's nothing else that's going to happen but that area expanding in such a way. NBA Top Shots, prime example. People are literally have been making a living off of $40 and $50 and $60 packs. It's an amazing time. So I wish everyone the best of luck, and just stay focused and figure out what the problem solutions are and do it.
There you go, Maya.
I'm reachable at the LinkedIn, Maya Kanehara. Final thought would be, I think this is also an amazing opportunity for us to rethink about digital identity, because this is our human right and responsibility to gain our control back about our digital identity. So when we deal with any crypto wallet, NFT, all of that, without digital identity, we can't have the secure, privacy-preserving environment in the blockchain. So I'm encouraged everyone to check it out, Global ID, to what's out there. And I'm looking forward to stay in touch with everyone. Thank you.
Wonderful. Last but not least, Ravi.
Hi, you can always find me on Twitter. I put my handle there on the screen. And I just think this is a great time, frankly, to be in our industry, because I think whether you're a player and you can now have property rights, or you can play to earn, or you're a developer and you can build cool stuff for a new audience and give them functionality they never had before. I think, frankly, it's just a great time to be in gaming and blockchain. So I encourage everybody to join the fun.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Everyone, thank you so much for your thoughts and insights today on the topic of blockchain entertainment and gaming, and to our audience for tuning in. If you like what you heard, make sure you click subscribe, like, and share today's episode. Check out the archive on LATOKEN.com to hear from today's speakers and all speakers of the VCTV family. And if you're building anything in blockchain, gaming, esports, entertainment. We'd love to hear from you, all of us. So please do reach out to all of us on our respected social media handles and networks as well. Please do add context when you do, where you heard us, where you met us, and what you would like to continue the conversation about. Big thank you to the LATOKEN team and to Maria for making today's episode possible. I'm your host, Kyle Ellicott. You can find me everywhere online 24/7, 365 at Kyle Ellicott. With that, everyone have a wonderful day. See you back here tomorrow for more VCTV. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.